one thing that's extremely baffling is the fact that a vast majority of humanity does not think about existence or their own mortality and how fragile it actually is. You know, we have just appeared in this place, this dreamscape. All of this is a dream. If you didn't know, that's what it is. Take it from me. I've had NDEs, a few of them actually. This place is not what you think it is. For all we know, everybody here could already be dead anyway. But I digress. When I say dead, I don't mean dead as in, because the whole thing is, most of us on a subconscious level kind of have faith that we will keep on living, right? On a subconscious level. This is why people get hung up on stupid shit that doesn't mean anything at all, you know, because they have a subconscious belief that they will wake up tomorrow and the problem will still be there, right? But this idea is slightly misguided, and I'll explain why it's misguided. The feeling you have of, yeah, you wake up tomorrow, this kind of faith, is more of a higher level or higher version of you sense, because the higher version of you can never die. It was never born anyway, so it can never die. So for it, the higher version of yourself, it will live forever. You know, it will live forever, and it knows that it will live forever. So I think sometimes there's like a spillover into the lower self, the 3D version of yourself, and somehow that's how we get so bogged down into in the weeds, and we think, oh, but really and truly, as far as the 3D meat suit experiencing version of yourself is concerned, it could be over for you like that, and consciousness will just go somewhere else. It will just pick another body and it will just carry on. You know, consciousness will just carry on, and it will feel no way about doing that, right? So the other day I was on a flight back to the UK from Zurich, and we had a bit of turbulence, right? It was actually quite extreme. The plane got struck by lightning, and we went through a really big storm, and there was a lady behind me who was like having a full meltdown, a full panic, you know. Oh my god, you know, she thought she was gonna die, you know. And then it hit me. I thought, like, this is how you should feel every day, regardless of the storm, regardless of the plane. You should know that you could die every day, and that's what the Stoics taught us. You know, you have to be stoic. You have to be fully aware of your mortality, fully aware that it could be taken away from you at any given time. You know, people that, as I'm talking to you right now, there's some people have died today in different parts of this plane of existence. Yes, people have exited, like, consciousness has left some bodies right now, right this second, somewhere, someplace, someone's taking their final breath, right? And I bet you they never thought, I mean, if somebody spoke to them yesterday, unless they was, I don't know, terminally ill or something like this, but we're talking about like car accidents or I don't know, injuries or murder or whatever it is, I don't know, you know, heart attacks, strokes, whatever it is, drowning, right? I bet you, if I spoke to them yesterday and said, hey, you're gonna die tomorrow, they would have probably said, no fucking way, but come on. That feeling they have, that confidence that they have of, no, I'm not gonna die, comes from the higher self. It doesn't come from the lower self, the 3D self, right? So the 3D self then kind of like takes that on and thinks that it applies to it, but it does not apply to the 3D version of yourself. I've been in situations like that myself, and then that's what made me extremely stoic, you know. And that's why I'm slowly learning the process of non-attachment, because there is no point being attached to anything here, because, or desiring anything here, because it'll go one day. And the fact is, going back to the original point, most people don't think about mortality, and this is something that we have to really do, because if we did that, the entire human experience would be different. And let me go on to explain why. If we were all completely living in accordance to, right, guys, we're in this dreamscape, we could all die tomorrow, we could die today, shit, like we could die right now, you know, and because of that, we have to kind of live fully, right? A lot of people will not be in relationships they don't want to be in because of that feeling. A lot of people will not be doing jobs they didn't want to do because of that feeling. A lot of people will be more honest with themselves and others because of that feeling. Because what's the point in lying? There is no gain. You could be dead tomorrow. Do you see? So it doesn't mean anything, right? All these things that we do, like I'm gonna have, you know, and that's why sometimes, like, the things we desire, and that's why desire is actually pointless. Because, and don't get me wrong, I fall into the trap too. I like nice things, you know. I collect watches, I like fine wines, and I like nice suits and all this other stuff. Yes, yes, I have desires, but then it gets to a point where you realize that desiring does not really get you anywhere, because even when you have it and you've acquired that object of your desire, the ultimate question is still unanswered, which is that you're still gonna leave everything that you became attached to behind, and you will go. You will leave this place, whether you like it or not. You will do that. It will have to happen. You can push it back, you can delay it, you can sit in the car with 50 airbags, you can choose not to ride motorcycles, you could choose not to scuba dive, you could choose not to fly on planes, you could choose to stay indoors for the rest of your life. You will still die. I know it sounds a bit macabre, but it's actually the fact. And the only way you can live fully is by embracing this reality, this truth. Because there are a few fundamental truths in this reality, and that's one of them. No matter what happens, you will die, bro. You will die. So, knowing that you will die, why would you ever fear somebody? Why would I fear another human being? Why would I let another human being affect me in any way, shape, or form? It's stupid. It's beyond crazy. Like, you don't know how much you have in your hourglass, right? You don't know, right? Think of it. We all have an hourglass, and we don't know how much is left. How much sand is left. And then I'm going to spend my time doing something I don't want to do, speaking to people I don't want to speak to, enduring experiences I don't want to endure. Come on. You're mistreating your own life. You're disrespecting your own life. It's a joke. You know, if you're having an experience that you don't have control over, i.e. say you're in captivity, or, well, we all are in captivity anyway. We're all in some sort of bondage. You know, I don't advocate suicide. I'm not. Although Albert Camus is one of my favorite writers of all time, I don't agree with suicide. But I think ultimately one must live fully. One must live fully. One must live completely. One must live bravely, and one must live boldly. You know, yes, sacrifices are admirable, but sacrificing yourself for others is admirable. And you know, you can sacrifice your life for somebody to have a pleasant life. Yes, it's admirable in the human sphere, but ultimately it's a very selfish thing for one to do, because essentially you're doing it for validation. Oh, look at what I did. I sacrificed my life for this person, and I'm such a good person. Nobody fucking cares. You are, like, if that's not that, if consciousness didn't come here to experience sacrificing itself for the benefit of another person, you're pouring water into a broken cup. It will never work. You will never get anywhere with it. you just become a worthless people pleaser who's just looking for validation, and that's a pathetic way to live. You have to listen to your heart. You have to listen to what makes you happy. People might say that's selfish, but if I don't put my mask on first, how can I save anyone else? And I'm not talking about COVID, I'm talking about planes. It's admirable, especially I think if you have children. I have kids. It's important to make sure that you nurture them and you provide for them and you create a very stable environment for them, to give them the best that you can. Really, that's all you can do in terms of that. You can't shield them from life forever, because if the consciousness within them has come here to experience life, that's what it's come here to do. There's people that have protected their kids. I went to school with some kids whose parents, sheltered them from everything. And some of these kids turned out to be some of the wildest kids as we were growing up. So sometimes you just have to. You can only do your best and leave the rest to the universe. That's it. You have to be fulfilled. And the etymology of that word itself is actually quite interesting. Full. Filled to the full. So you have to fill yourself. You have to fill yourself, your cup, completely. It's your one shot. It's your. For all we know, this is your run at this level of the game, of the sim, right? So if you're here and you're experiencing it at this level, you don't know how many goes you might have here. That might be your last go. Maybe you've already had your 9 lives and this is your 10th, and after this your file's probably just assuming your file's going to get deleted. Are you going to not experience life to the full? It's crazy. You must. And I don't mean in the sense of going around and participating in just becoming a hedonist and just I'm not advocating debauchery. No, I'm not, because those are low level things. Because there are high level things that also make one happy. Your passions, the things that truly make you smile. Your purpose. Maybe there's a book inside of you. Maybe there's a couple of books inside of you. Maybe there's a film inside of you. Maybe there's a poem inside of you. Maybe there's a song. Some people got famous, or some people just put out one song. Just one song that just touched so many lives, and that's it. They didn't do anything. That's all they came here to do. That was it. The end. And there are others that have written poems that nobody even know. It's not even credited to them, but it touches lives every day. And this is why, if we go back to the notion of consciousness just being one, it's almost like you're living. In order for consciousness to have a fuller experience of life, every conscious being must follow their passion, because by doing that you leave a breadcrumb. It's like Hansel and Gretel. You leave a breadcrumb for another run of consciousness when it comes here, because then it can come here and then it could hear that word, hear that song, read that book, and it might touch that conscious being in a different way. So it's almost like you are teaching yourself, or you yourself are creating experiences for your own conscious self by following your heart and your passions. It's all about experience, guys. It really is. It's all about experiences. And through every experience, good or bad, and trust me, I've had some shitty experiences in life, man. I've had some tough ones. But then ultimately, I always know that no matter what life throws at me, I'm gonna come out the other side smelling of roses. That's just my position, and nobody can take that away from me. What was it? Was it Epictetus that said? Was it? I can't remember. It might have been Epictetus or one of the other Stoics. I can't remember. But he said something like, and I'm paraphrasing here, something like, if Zeus may may put chains on him and fetter his and destroy his leg, but he can never put chains on his mind, or he can never imprison his mind. You know, so no matter what life may throw at you, and the god of this realm is the ancient Greeks, and they used to think it was Zeus, you know. So no matter what the god of this reality might throw at you, ultimately you have power over him, and that power is in your mind. Because even if you're in solitary confinement and you feel like you're not in prison, or you completely become so delusional to your reality that, yeah, I'm in paradise, like, yeah, this is just a stepping stone, and every day brings me closer to paradise, or whatever it is, you've completely turned the experience on its head. Then it's like the experience doesn't have the power over you anymore. It's gone. It's gone. You know, because we translate the experience to what it is. You know? But anyway, everything that you truly want is behind the wall of experience, man. Just go through it, man. Just go through it. Just go through it. Go through it with a smile. Yeah? Make your conscious self, make your higher self proud of yourself. Like, you know, that you, this body that this entity chose to come and experience this dreamscape with was the bravest, boldest, live life to the fullest. Sorry, traffic just completely entity that he's ever come across, or it's ever come across. You know, so he actually ends up feeling proud as anything, like, you know what, I'm proud, that's my guy, he's bold, you know, or whatever. So yeah, man. But you know, outside of that also, you need to be very stoic. You must be stoic. You have to be stoic. There's no other way. There's no other option. One must be stoic. One must recognize that you may die at any time. Life is not guaranteed. Life does not owe you shit. Like, people say this and people don't even understand the depth of that word, that statement. Life does not owe you. In fact, you owe life. Life is giving you something. Life is giving you the experience. Like, come here and play the game. Think of life as the game itself, yeah? The file, yeah? The video game file called life, yeah? It's a disc. You put it in, life, volume 1. It starts. Now, you start this game, you're playing first-person shooter or GTA-style game, and you walk around. Do you expect, or would you expect the game to be like, no, actually turn left, actually turn right? Yes, the game might orient you. It might give you a bit of a mild orientation to how the game works. You know, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Yeah, that's how it works. And all the rest of it, right? So, with that being said, like, you look at the game, but as you're playing the actual game, the game's not going to make it easy for you. You're just there to figure it out. That's your job. That's your job. And if you stay in a corner because you don't want the zombies to catch you, no matter what happens, the game is programmed to catch you. No matter what happens, you're going to die in the game. So even if you stay in a corner and say, I'm not going to move, I'm just going to stay still, the zombies are going to come and hack your head open at some point anyway. So why don't you just go out there and have a fun time, and you hack as much zombies as you can, you know, climb as many buildings as you can, drive as many cars as you can, you know, jump out of as many planes as you can, explore as much as you can, eat as much as you can, not eat gluttony, but experience as many foods as you can, and just fully just experience it. That's the whole point of the game. That is literally the whole point of the game. So if you're not experiencing it to the fullest, you're not playing the game right. That's it, man. That, my friends, is literally it. Anyway, I'm traveling, so I will be yeah, I've got a few events in Europe I need to attend, so I'm traveling. I'll be back about a week. So when I get back, I'll send some more. But then I'm sure if something, you know, piques my interest and draws my attention to some commentary, then I require some commentary, then it'll happen and I'll record something. But other than that, I'll speak to you guys soon. Peace, love, and